In the grand salons and private chambers of the 18th and 19th centuries, aristocratic women commanded an entire world of knowledge closed to almost everyone else. They had personal hairdressers, court perfumers, trusted servants, and access to rare ingredients that ordinary people would never see. Behind the towering powdered coiffures and the impossibly glossy locks frozen in oil portraits lay a private, highly deliberate routine, far more intricate than the finished image suggested. Much of that knowledge was never meant to leave those rooms. Certain techniques were guarded like family jewels. Recipes were whispered from mother to daughter, from mistress to favored attendant, or traded discreetly among women of rank. Over time, some of these practices were abandoned as fashions changed and scientific understanding advanced. Others were later dismissed as superstitious, unhygienic, or simply ridiculous. A few were genuinely dangerous. Yet many of them contained a quiet, practical genius that modern beauty culture is only now beginning to rediscover. What looked eccentric or even banned by later standards often served a clear purpose: protecting hair under heavy powders and pomades, stimulating the scalp without the products we take for granted today, preserving shine through weeks of elaborate arrangements, or solving problems that still frustrate us. Some methods were brilliantly simple. Others bordered on alchemy. A handful walked a fine line between brilliance and risk. In this video, we will open those closed doors with 20 secrets of noblewomen that were actually genius. We will examine the techniques they kept to themselves, the forgotten recipes passed from hand to hand, the abandoned rituals that once seemed essential, and the surprisingly intelligent logic hidden inside practices that once appeared strange, forbidden, or even reckless. Some of these banned secrets were never meant for the rest of us. Others turn out to be far smarter than we ever gave them credit for. If you find this topic fascinating, don't forget to leave a like. Now, let's begin. Chapter 1: Aristocratic Hair Care. Modern beauty culture insists that clean hair means frequent shampooing. Noblewomen of the 18th and 19th centuries operated under an entirely different logic. Daily washing was neither practical nor desirable. Water was not always plentiful. Heating it required effort, and harsh soaps could strip the hair of its natural oils. Instead of chasing daily cleanliness, aristocratic women cultivated a system of maintenance that kept hair looking polished for days or even weeks. They washed far less often. Between those infrequent baths, the real work happened with brushes, combs, powders, scented oils, and carefully chosen fabrics. A long, thorough brushing session was not merely about arranging the coiffure. It was a form of cleansing. Fine bristled brushes and ivory or tortoiseshell combs lifted dust and debris from the scalp, loosened tangles, and most importantly, distributed the scalp's natural sebum down the length of each strand. The result was a soft, controlled sheen rather than greasy roots and dry ends. When oiliness became visible, powders stepped in. Finely milled rice powder, starch, or scented white powders were dusted through the hair to absorb excess grease and restore a matte, refined appearance. These early dry shampoos were the direct ancestors of the sprays and powders we buy today. What we now purchase in aerosol cans once lived in porcelain jars on a noblewoman's dressing table. At night, the final protection was applied. Soft linen or silk nightcaps, embroidered caps, and carefully wrapped cloths covered the hair while the woman slept. The coverings preserved elaborate styles, reduced friction against pillows, prevented the hair from becoming tangled or flattened, and allowed a carefully arranged coiffure to last several more days. These women did not necessarily possess superior products. They simply learned to extract far more from the tools and ingredients they had. By washing less, Brushing more, absorbing oil with powder, and protecting the hair while they slept, they maintained the polished appearance we still admire in their portraits. Chapter 2. The Secret Oils of Noble Ladies. Once the surface was managed through brushing and powder, the real luxury began with oils. Aristocratic women had access to refined, aromatic oils that most people of their time would never touch. Perfumers blended rose, jasmine, orange blossom, sandalwood, and other precious essences into light, fragrant oils specifically prepared for the hair. These were not crude kitchen fats. They were deliberate, expensive preparations that both conditioned and scented the coiffure, leaving a subtle trail of perfume as a woman moved through a room. Used correctly, the oil was never meant to leave the hair heavy or visibly greasy. Small amounts were worked into the scalp and along the lengths to reduce dryness and create a protective film. The goal was controlled shine and softness, not saturation. Noblewomen understood something modern consumers still struggle with. Hydration and oiliness are not the same thing. A thin layer of fine oil could seal the hair's surface, protect it from dust and friction, and give the polished finish seen in portraits without making the hair look dirty. Many of these oils were applied before washing. The practice functioned as an early form of pre-shampoo treatment. Oil was massaged into the hair, left for a time, and then removed during the infrequent cleansing. The oil helped loosen dirt and powder while shielding the strands from the drying effects of soap and water. What looks like a recent beauty trend actually has roots centuries deep in aristocratic dressing rooms. Special attention was given to the ends. The tips of long hair suffered the most from dryness, breakage, and the weight of elaborate styles. A few drops of scented oil carefully smoothed over the ends improved their appearance, reduced frizz, and gave the finished coiffure a refined, completed look. Yet oils were only the beginning. Some of the most intriguing ingredients these women used are the same ones we now pay high prices for in modern luxury products. Chapter 3. Why Noble Hair Lasted Longer. The elaborate coiffures of noblewomen were never only about display. For much of the day, their hair remained firmly secured. Keeping long hair pinned, coiled, and lifted away from the shoulders reduced constant touching, limited exposure to dust, smoke, and weather, and prevented the endless manipulation that frays and weakens strands. An arranged style was both fashion and practical defense. Braids played a central protective role. Tight or loose plaits controlled length, kept ends tucked safely out of the way, and minimized tangling. What modern hair science now calls protective styling was already common practice in aristocratic chambers. Braids could be arranged into larger shapes or left partially visible, serving both beauty and preservation at once. More structured styles went further. Wire frames, padded supports, countless pins, and carefully placed ornaments created rigid architectures that held the hair in place for hours or days. Once set, the coiffure required little adjustment. The style itself became a kind of armor. It locked the hair into a stable form, reduced friction, and protected the bulk of the length from daily wear. Not all of the impressive volume, however, belonged to the wearer. False hair, switches, pads, and additional lengths were routinely added. Many of the towering and richly textured styles seen in portraits combined the woman's own hair with carefully matched pieces. These additions allowed greater height, fuller shapes, and more dramatic effects without subjecting the natural hair to constant stress or extreme length requirements. The secret was never simply possessing magnificent hair. The true skill lay in knowing how to construct the appearance of it, using structure, braids, supports, and discrete false pieces to create a polished, lasting result that protected what was real while presenting something far more impressive. Chapter 4. Scent and Structure. For a noblewoman, hair was never only about shape and shine. It was part of her personal atmosphere. Scent clung to the carefully arranged coiffure and traveled with her through salons and drawing rooms. Perfumed oils, aromatic powders, and delicately scented preparations turned the hair into a quiet, portable fragrance that announced her presence before she spoke. Powders played a double role. Finely milled and often delicately perfumed, they were dusted through the hair and over the elaborate structures of the coiffure. They absorbed excess oil, softened the visual weight of the style, and left a refined, powdery finish that caught the light. The same powder that controlled shine also carried subtle notes of flowers or spices, layering fragrance into the very texture of the hair. Aromatic plants formed the foundation of many of these preparations. Lavender, rosemary, rose petals, and other carefully chosen herbs were steeped, distilled, or dried and ground for use in hair powders and rinses. Their primary value was olfactory and cosmetic. They lent elegance and a sense of freshness. Any deeper claims about their effects belong more to later romantic invention than to the documented practices of the period. Rosewater and similar scented waters completed the ritual. Lightly applied after brushing or used to dampen the hair before arranging, these preparations refreshed the scent without weighing the strands down. They belonged to the larger world of aristocratic cosmetics, where every element, skin, hair, clothing, and even the air around the body, was expected to contribute to a single polished impression. The goal was never merely beautiful hair. It was a complete sensory presence. The visual perfection of the coiffure joined to a refined, lingering fragrance that made the woman memorable long after she had left the room. Chapter 5: The Dangerous Side of Beauty. Not every aristocratic practice was wise. Some of the most ambitious beauty formulas of the 18th and 19th centuries contained substances we now know to be toxic. Lead, mercury, and other harsh chemicals appeared in certain cosmetics and hair preparations. The same refinement that produced exquisite scented oils and powders could also produce mixtures that slowly damaged the scalp, the hair, or the body itself. The pursuit of beauty was sophisticated and at times genuinely hazardous. The desire to alter the hair's appearance pushed further still. Women experimented with preparations meant to change color, force a particular texture, or create an artificial sheen that nature had not provided. The pressure to meet rigid ideals of elegance drove some to increasingly aggressive formulas. What began as enhancement could become chemical stress that left the hair brittle, the scalp irritated, and the long-term condition of the strands compromised. Even the celebrated coiffures carried a physical cost. Towering structures reinforced with pads, false hair, wire supports, and heavy ornaments could weigh several pounds. Once pinned into place, they remained for hours or days, pulling at the scalp and straining the neck. Beauty demanded patience and frequently simple endurance. The finished portrait never showed the discomfort required to maintain the image. Yet after all the oils, powders, perfumes, structures, and risks, the most intelligent secret may have been the simplest. Consistency mattered more than constant transformation. Regular, gentle care, less unnecessary handling, protection of the length, a steady routine rather than daily reinvention. The women who understood this did not chase perfection every morning. They maintained what they had, protected it carefully, and allowed the hair to remain strong enough to support the elaborate styles when occasion demanded. Some secrets were brilliant, some were dangerous. The wisest of all was knowing when to do less. Chapter 6: The Ultimate Beauty Lesson. In the beginning, we asked whether some of the best hair care practices of the past might be the very ones that now seem strange or forbidden. Across these 20 secrets, the answer has become clear. Aristocratic women of the 18th and 19th centuries lacked modern cosmetic technology, yet they bent effective routines around protection, regular maintenance, thorough brushing, carefully chosen oils, subtle perfumes, protective hairstyles, patience, and consistency. They understood that hair responds better to steady care than to constant reinvention. They limited unnecessary washing, distributed natural oils with the brush, shielded the length at night, and constructed styles that both displayed and defended the hair. They also knew the power of scent and the quiet discipline of repetition. At the same time, not everything from that world deserves revival. Some techniques remain historically fascinating and practically useful. Others relied on substances or methods we now recognize as genuinely dangerous. The past is a source of insight, not a complete instruction manual. Perhaps the deepest secret these women possessed was never a single mysterious recipe or rare ingredient. It was the way they approached personal care itself, as a sustained routine rather than a quick solution. They treated their hair as something to be maintained over years, not transformed overnight. Because centuries later, the greatest lesson these old, banned secrets leave us is simple. Beautiful hair is not built in a single day. It is built through small, repeated acts of care continued over a long time. If you found these forgotten secrets as fascinating as we did, give this video a like so more people can discover them. Tell us in the comments, which of these 20 practices surprised you most, and would you ever try a modern version of it? If you enjoy deep dives into historical beauty and the clever ideas hidden behind old portraits, subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss the next one. Thank you for watching until the end.
This oil keeps the skin flawless. A few drops every night, but it must remain our secret. Mix it with a bit of dew. This soap is far too harsh, my lady. It leaves it so dry. It seems this lock will simply not behave today. Do not worry, my lady, I shall make it yield. Pray, see that it does.